What is up, my Titan Army? It is Titan here, aka Tristan. You know what's up. What is up, guys? So, today I'm bringing you the second versus episode on this channel, and today we are taking the Amazing Spider Man and putting it up against Spider Man 1. So, let's jump right into this, shall we? So, Spider-Man 1 is a 2002 superhero film directed by Sam Raimi. It is the first movie in the Spider-Man trilogy, and Marvel owned the rights of Spider-Man back then. So, there's for Spider-Man 1. The Amazing Spider-Man is a 2012 superhero movie, and it is directed by Mark Webb. So, um, what should we start off with first? Let's start off with actors and who I think is better and all that. So for the Amazing Spider-Man 1, we have Andrew Garfield plays Spider-Man slash Peter Parker, and Emma Stone plays Spider-Man's love interest, Gwen Stacy. Now, for Spider-Man 1, though, we have two great actors as well. Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man slash Peter Parker, and James Franco as Norman Osborn's son, Harry Osborn, a good friend of Peter's. Now, I'm going to have to give this one for another big actor, I guess you could say, in Spider-Man 1 would be Kirsten Dunst, even though she's not a big actor, but she plays Mary Jane Watson, Spider-Man's love interest. But who wins for actors on this one? I'm going to have to give it to the Amazing Spider-Man. That is just because I feel that Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield bring way better chemistry to the screen than Toby and Kirsten ever did. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to give that to the Amazing Spider-Man. So, the Amazing Spider-Man has 1 point. Now, let's go with story. So, story, they're both origin stories, of course, and how Spider-Man gets his powers, how he becomes Spider-Man, building the suit, getting bit by the spider, meeting the girl, all that. But as far as a better origin story, Spider-Man 1 definitely wins just because I feel it explained it more in detail. The Amazing Spider-Man, however, does go better with realisticness and the comics with the web shooters instead of the organic webbing that is in Spider-Man. But truthfully, I like the organic webbing better than the web shooters just because the web shooters are pieces of shit made out of like old cell phones, and Electro like breaks them in the new one. But for story, I'm gonna definitely have to give it to Spider-Man 1. I think it's a better origin story, and having Ben Parker get shot. Wait, did I say yeah? Ben Parker, Peter's grandfather, Uncle Ben, gets shot and all that. I thought that was more well played throughout Spider-Man 1. The origin story was more explained well, so Spider-Man 1 now has 1 point, so it's 1 versus 1. Now, let's jump in to the villain. Now, this isn't even a contest. Spider-Man 1 blows this shit up against the Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man 1 was so well done with the villain. The Green Goblin is the main villain. He's right there. And the guy who plays the Green Goblin, I forgot his name, but he's a great actor. And he brings such a great role to Norman Osborn slash the Green Goblin. And on top of that, I think it's a better villain just because it is the first movie. So what better way to put the main villain of Spider-Man in the first movie? And then we have the Amazing Spider-Man on the other hand. The actor who played the Lizard is okay. The Lizard is Kurt Connors, but there's not even a contest here. The Green Goblin is way cooler, way more badass, and the Green Goblin probably could kill the Lizard with the glider. And speaking of which, for Spider-Man 1, the glider and the suit, the Green Goblin suit is just so badass. So the villain definitely goes to Spider-Man 1. So now it is 2 versus 1. Next and last, we have the girl. Now, obviously, we have to put this in here for these two movies because Spider-Man is always about the chicks and all that shit. He's very Tony Stark-like, and Bruce Wayne-like. He's not rich though, but and Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne are way cooler, but he definitely knows how to get girls just like they do. But I'm the chemistry between Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield beats that of Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst, like I said earlier. But as far as like who's the better girl, I'm definitely gonna have to give it to Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy. I feel like with Gwen Stacy, it's always Peter's a very intelligent person, but whenever he can't figure something out, that's when Gwen steps in and figures it out for him. And so it's like a half of a brain, so they work together, and you see that a lot through the movie, and I think they have better on-screen chemistry. Mary Jane Watson, on the other hand, played by Kirsten Dunst, just kind of screams and hopes that Peter catches her when she falls all the time, because she's... If I, like, literally did a head count of how many times she screams, Peter! Or something like that in the Spider-Man trilogy, it would be, like, over 10. I know that. Like, so yeah. So I'm definitely going to have to give the girl to Gwen Stacy / Emma Stone in The Amazing Spider-Man. So now it is... so now we have to say who wins overall. I'm going to have to give it to Spider-Man 1. Spider-Man 1 is the winner. This was such an incredible superhero movie for 2002 when superhero movies were just starting to get good. And I just feel that it wins in all ways pretty much. Sam Raimi, I feel, did it better than Mark Webb. They made more in the movie theaters as far as box office goes. And just overall, a great movie. I feel like Andrew Garfield plays a better Spider-Man, but Tobey Maguire does a better Peter Parker, but one thing doesn't beat a bunch of things. So I'm definitely going to have to give it to Spider-Man 1 with the Green Goblin and just the great movie that it is. It deserves to win against Amazing Spider-Man. So the Spider-Man 1 is the winner. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Versus, and I will see you tomorrow with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 versus Spider-Man 2. And that will be episode 3 of Versus. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.